don't dwell, in all of those setbacks. Try and wake up. A friend of mine used to say that even when you lose your job, for example, you must still wake up. At the time that you wake up going to work, you wake up, you take a shower and whatever, you get ready, whatever, then you're telling the universe that you are ready. But when you just sleep and then you don't do anything, and you're also telling the universe to not give you something, you're not opening your hand. So to all of those people that have failed and that are going through a difficult time, I just want to say to you, be positive, have a positive mindset, and everything works with your mind. Once you tell and convince your mind that, things are going to be fine, we're going to do this, you're going to beat whatever it is that you might be going through, you will be able to beat it. But once you tell your mind that, look, it's failure, that's it, I'm not going to make it, you won't make it. But once you tell your mind that, look, I am strong and I'm going to beat this, you will beat it. Whatever it is that you're going through, we are that strong.
702.
The upside of failure.
Sometimes failure is the foundation of greatest success stories.
Lesley Musina.
Relebogile Mabotja.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
It is so nice to see you.
Likewise. You should actually consider comedy. You're amazing, man. That link was wow.
You're not the first person to say this. I think I have a sense of humor just in a moment, but if I had to walk up to a crowd and pray, I would fall apart.
Right?
If nobody laughed, I'd just be like, where does the earth swallow you? But as a person,
like every art form, you'll get used to it. You'll get used to it. You've done stage so many times. You continue doing stage, so wow, you've got the personality.
Okay, I'll think about it. But I'm listening to you and your voice, and I'm like, why are you not doing this radio thing ongoing?
Yeah, no, I've also been asked a few times, why am I not doing radio? Okay, I've got a demo that I did a while ago, but I don't know, maybe it's the willingness.
The demo's old. The demo's old. Can we start there?
Okay, what do we do now?
You have to just record another one. You said I had a demo that I did a while ago. No, it's like a demo this year.
Okay, we're doing a demo right now. They're recording us, Aker.
Yes, this is the demo.
Great, let's go. We're co-hosting.
Listen, I'm so excited. I feel like your career really has been growing and evolving, watching how you are even navigating into the presenter space. And I know many producers and broadcasters don't jump at hiring actors as presenters because as an actor, you're memorizing lines. As a presenter, you need to think on your feet, especially if you're hosting shows like Eksukume Ba.
Yeah, but you know what it is? I just turned 42 a few days ago on Tuesday, the 24th of October.
And ladies, he looks 31.
Wow, thank you. That's a compliment. So I think it also comes with life experience. So the more you've lived, the more life you experience, and obviously being in this industry as well. I mean, we are in the business of talking to people. We're in the business of, giving people hope more than anything. So I think with all of that life experience, I won't say it becomes easier, but I think, you can just tap into that and then you can relate with whatever situation that you put in. You mentioned Eksukme Pa. I mean, you're dealing with serious issues where kids that have probably never met their fathers and they're looking for their fathers for various reasons. So yeah, I know people like that, and a part of me also has that in me. Although I've always known my father, I've always known my mom, I'm grateful, but I can relate.
Definitely you can. And I'm wondering then, for someone who grew up in an industry that requires you to be very, very tough in the space of failure, what was growing up like, and what was your understanding of failure?
Wow, that's a very good question. So I grew up in church. I used to spend about 7 days at church. Me and Mam Holo, my aunt, my mom's sister, we would go and serve at church. And I'm grateful for that experience that I had, for that childhood. Although when growing up, I couldn't do other things that other kids were doing. We're not allowed to listen to secular music. We're not allowed to do a lot of things. But at the same time, we had a lot of camps that would go to, conferences. So I think that helped build me, my core faith and all the other things that I later learned in life. But I realized that the foundation that I had was very, very strong. And whether I go through hardships and I go through resentment and I go through, people just, getting rid of you and whatever, I don't hold grudges because I think my upbringing was very strong. It's very Bible centered more than anything. So that really, really is what kept me going and what keeps me going even now. But I mean, I've gone through stages in my life where I have questioned things. I have questioned religion. I continue doing so.
You question God.
Well, one thing I've never doubted is the existence of higher power, the existence of a God. Maybe not necessarily in a religious sense, as we are told, because you read some things and you try and make sense of them, and you look at your life, what is going on. You look at our ancestors, they who have always believed in higher power, and who have always believed, for example, Relebogile, our ancestors are guardian angels, and people misconstrue those things, and you look at them and you make up your own reality as you go, and that's what I've done. I've gotten to a point where I have questioned a lot of things, and ultimately I have arrived at, look, there definitely is a higher power. God is out there.
Definitely. I mean, God was with us on the field.
Oh, yeah.
When we were having heart attacks watching the Springboks, there was a presence there. And just looking at, this, the fact that you speak so many languages. You are fluent in English, Tshivenda, Sepedi, Setswana, Sesotho, isiZulu, Afrikaans, Shona, Chitonga. How did you get to a place where you were able to be fluent in that many languages? And just so you know, I'm so jealous of you.
Thank you, Relebogile. I think it's also part of my upbringing as well. I grew up in a very multicultural family, if you like. So I have my paternal grandmother is from Botswana.
Yes.
In fact, then I have my dad, my mom's side of the family, Ndibavenda. And growing up in a mining town in Musina, a place like Musina, where there's just different languages, people speaking different languages from various different parts of SADC, actually.
Yeah.
You pick up, you learn those languages. But it also from my maternal grandmother, who had lived in exile. She had lived in a few countries. So she was very fluent in a lot of languages. So she would always speak, different languages, and I always ask, which one is this one? And she would explain to me, this is Bemba from Zambia, for example. This is Chiluba from Congo. So she was very fluent in a lot of languages. So I think that's what piqued my interest from an early age.
But I learned recently that some people are naturally gifted in picking up and learning languages. It's not just like, you can just sit and study your head off. Some people naturally pick it up, and I think you're one of those people. I mean, you kind of remind me of Aaron Muloisi.
Amazing.
I mean, and his gift of languages, which definitely must help you as an actor and an MC doing the work that you do.
100%. I have some Xhosa speaking friends, and they are impressed with Aaron's Xhosa. Like it's really good. They're like, there's one person we listen to, Tetis Xhosa, who's not Xhosa, and we are convinced that this guy is Xhosa.
And that's strict.
Very, very, very strict. People are very, very. Language is something. Language is a part of us. Language is who we are, So, I think you're right. It also, part of it is a gift. I was always very good when it comes to theoretical stuff, even from school, writing, compositions, all of those things. I've always been very, very good at those things. So I think maybe part of my brain, which deviates towards that, it makes it a lot easier for me also to pick up languages. I hear that, it's people that also have a high IQ. I'm not sure about that if I've got a high IQ, but...
It is the upside of failure. We are together with actor, MC and presenter Lesley Musina. We take your calls and questions 011 883 0702 in the WhatsApp line 072 702 1702. Lesley, I want to just touch on, you had a traumatic experience in August where you were robbed at gunpoint. What happened?
It was actually... That was I've had a few of those.
A few?
Yeah, I think it has happened twice to me.
So there was the one where you were actually with your 4-year-old son.
Yeah, that was it was just pre-COVID. I think it was in 2019, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, no, I just went to a garage on Besnodia. I get there, park. I didn't want to go to the spa. Sorry, mentioning brand, to the supermarket up the road. Yes. And then I went to the garage, left my son in the car. He hit my other phone. I learned never to do that again. You don't leave kids in the car.
Was it in the evening?
In the evening.
Yes.
So I get in. He wanted chocolate. I bought him chocolate. I get back to the car. As I'm about to open the door, I see a group of guys. It was cold. It was in winter, so I was wearing a hoodie. So I just see guys coming. I thought they were pranking me or something because I see them wearing blue jeans. At first, I was like, okay, these police, maybe undercover police, whatever. Oh, no, this is a robbery. These guys are. And the next thing, I was fighting and I could feel that they've taken out my phone. It's like 4 guys. So instinctively, I think something kicks into you. I don't know, adrenaline is pumping. I start running. I'm chasing after them and I see they're holding a gun.
Really?
Then my son was crying.
So as in them, they are attacking you with you outside of the car.
Outside of the car.
Right? Your son is in the car.
In the car.
They are all grabbing things. It's chaotic.
100%.
Where are the petrol attendants at this time?
They are there and people are there as well, but they can't really do much because they can see that these guys are fear.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, but I started chasing. The only thing like that literally, hit me at that point was my son crying because he could see what was happening. I mean, he was 4 years old at the time and he was like, what are they doing to my dad? And then I was like, no, let me not. I went back into the car, got into the car, tried to chase the guys again. My son is still screaming,
My gosh.
So I realized that how they'd done it is that they had a getaway car, and then just on the other side of the road they'd parked and they got into the car. But there were police who could see what was happening. And they didn't see exactly everything that was happening, but they saw the guys getting into the getaway car. So police thought that they're probably hijacking the car. They tried to chase the car. One guy couldn't get inside the car because I think he was too tall, and then, but the guy was holding the gun. So he threw the gun. There was guys who were parked there selling vegetables and whatever, threw the gun inside there. We tried to look for them. We couldn't find them, but I did eventually find them.
What? You found the guys?
I found them.
How?
I've learned because I've been robbed twice at gunpoint. This is the advice, but it's very dangerous depending on what's happening at that time. If and when you're getting robbed and you get into close proximity, like very close to whoever is robbing you, right? I always look at their eyes, right? So one of the guys who robbed me, his eyes were very different color. It was very unique. And he was so tall. I remember it's like a small little thing. And they were wearing
So you were paying
hoodies.
attention basically to the details.
To the details, yeah. There's something with the eyes and the face that people, you'll be able to might be able to remember. So each time that I've been robbed, I actually have found those guys by myself. And then I tell the police, obviously, I don't go after them myself. But yeah.
I'm speechless.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm saying this because, and we're seeing more of it now of victims, responding. You've seen many videos of a person running over the people trying to hijack them. And obviously the adrenaline kicks in and it's not something we'd ever advise people to fight. It's not worth the car. It's not worth the phone and all of those things. But the fact that in those, you did it a second time. So when it happened the second time, did you feel more ready?
Yeah, I think so, because you get to a point where like you're just angry, like, because you're like, but
how dare you?
How dare you? Do you know what I mean? And it's only that I was with my son. I promise if my son wasn't there, I was probably going to catch those guys.
My goodness. Yeah. Even though you saw they had a gun.
Even though, because...
You were not afraid?
No, I wasn't. I think because it was the second time it was happening. So next to I was just angry. No, man, how dare you do this? Can't be robbing me for the second time. No way. So yeah. But it's not advisable, as you say. I think just let it go and then maybe try and get details and whatever, pick up something. I saw the car, I saw whatever, all of these things. And those things ultimately helped eventually in them getting arrested. They didn't really get arrested for what they did to me, but they went and messed up. They went and robbed other people again and they got caught. But I had already reported the police and their whereabouts I could see. They moved from here to there. Yeah.
So you were a part of Muvango for a very, very long time. And that really got you in our faces and our ears. Why was the parting of that difficult? For
me, or just in general?
Both.
Okay. Look, I mean, even up to today, I still get get asked, why did you leave Muvango? But once in a while, they do call me whenever there's something going on. Maybe someone died, that comes back, fly from the US and he comes and, so yeah.
That's the nice thing about your character not being dead.
Yeah, that's the...
Right?
Yeah, and not burning bridges as well.
Yes.
Because you never know, Yeah, no, man, I think at that time, there was just quite a bit that I was doing. There was a lot going on.
Yes.
Yeah. And it was a beautiful role. Like the role really, really is the one that introduced me to a lot of audiences. I had done other work before that, but I remember even the executive producer telling me before we aired my debut, he said to me, look, it's not going to be
The
like
same.
anything that you've done before. And he was right. The response was just amazing. And people really, that character was really made for me. I actually had auditioned for a different role, which I did shoot for about 2 weeks. And then one day I was just called while shooting. I thought I did something wrong. The executive producer comes through and then he says, go upstairs. And then go to wardrobe. Okay, I go there, find a tuxedo waiting for me. And then they told me I must come back. I went back. And then I was given different scenarios, with the amazing, extremely talented actress, veteran Cindy Tlatu. And we're given different roles. And I was doing this. And even she had goosebumps. I couldn't believe myself. I was just nailing it. And then they said, okay, cool. You won't be shooting from now on until further notice. I waited for, I think, about 2.5 months or 3 months.
So they had to delete the scenes and rework. And then they were writing me a whole storyline. That's beautiful.
A whole Ndaramo storyline. And then the character was really made for me. So, no. I am forever grateful for that.
Just in terms of, how do you say goodbye to something that's been good for you? Because I think there was a time when we saw one another when you had just left, right? And there is this thing that happens of the fear of and I know because I've been through that moment of leaving a soapy and the comfort of a soapy. And I was so terrified. What was that experience like for you, and how did you make it work for you? Because I think many people find themselves in their lives where they've made a decision to say goodbye to a chapter, and not because things were necessarily bad, they're just like, it's time to move on, but they struggle.
It was very difficult. I won't lie, it was very, very difficult at that moment, especially in that I left halfway through the year, halfway through the season. Actually, and I remember people giving me advice. No, they must pay you out for the entire. I was like, no, it's okay, cool. So but it was very difficult because you have bills to pay, and as you say, it's a soapy. That you get a salary. Now I had to go back to freelancing and then doing auditioning again. I remember I was called, but I was doing Speak Out as well, so that really helped. Keep me out there, people's faces. I was continuing doing my gigs on weekends, but it was at some point it was really a bit a little difficult. But you pick yourself up. I have the opportunity I was given at Mobango has opened up a lot of other doors for me. A lot of doors. I've built relationships with people. People don't forget, if you're good to people, people will never forget you. There are people that forget, but I've met so many amazing people that have carried me, from a point when I even lost cars,
We're talking about that yesterday, car repossessions and that experience of having to go through that. So I'm glad you're mentioning that because it is real. Yeah. It is the reality for even those who are public figures or those who are doing well. Yeah. When you look back at your life, what experience would you say taught you the greatest lesson you needed to learn on failure?
Look, it's not failure until you admit and accept that it's failure. I think I've learned that certain things, no matter how difficult and how painful they are, those are experiences that we had to go through. I'll speak for myself. It's experiences that I had to go through to build me, to make me strong. As I said earlier, that I literally grew up in church and I was taught faith and I was taught all these things. So these are now experiences that I'm sharing with other people, and also through my foundation. Recently launched the Lesley Musina Foundation. So wherever I go and I speak to people, who are mostly from previously disadvantaged backgrounds, learners and all of that, I just recount on all of these experiences that, I've been through all of that. I just keep my life very private. That's why probably there was a time when my life was just all over, and I realized that, no, I need to get rid of.
Get it together.
Yeah, get it together. Get it together. You get rid of certain people in your life and then you'll be surprised. Oh, wow, I'm no longer, in the media so much, you know what I mean? And all of that. So yeah, you learn as you go. That all these experiences, we call them failures, but I believe like they are hurdles. They are obstacle courses to actually build us and to make us stronger. So I'll tell you something that one great actress told me. Actually, says sometimes you're holding on to 50 cents and you're like this. You literally clenched. You've got a clenched hand, and then because you don't want to open your hand, but you don't realize that once you open your hand, you're going to receive more and much bigger than you think you have or you can have.
My late aunt used to say that all the time.
Wow.
All this, she says, if you don't open your hand to give, you will never have an open hand to receive. What are you going to receive if that hand is not open?
Exactly.
And I think that's such a beautiful lesson. Final thoughts on failure that you'd like to share with all of our listeners?
Yeah, my final thoughts is that, to never give up. I know things are very difficult right now for a lot of people. People have lost jobs. People are really, really trying their utmost best. But what I want to say is that don't dwell, in all of those setbacks. Try and wake up. A friend of mine used to say that even when you lose your job, for example, you must still wake up. At the time that you wake up going to work, you wake up, you take a shower and whatever, you get ready, whatever, then you're telling the universe that you are ready. But when you just sleep and then you don't do anything, and you're also telling the universe to not give you something, you're not opening your hand. So to all of those people that have failed and that are going through a difficult time, I just want to say to you, be positive, have a positive mindset, and everything works with your mind. Once you tell and convince your mind that, things are going to be fine, we're going to do this, you're going to beat whatever it is that you might be going through, you will be able to beat it. But once you tell your mind that, look, it's failure, that's it, I'm not going to make it, you won't make it. But once you tell your mind that, look, I am strong and I'm going to beat this, you will beat it. Whatever it is that you're going through, we are that strong.
Find him on the socials at Lesley Musina. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Relebogile Mabotja.
702.
The upside of failure.
Sometimes failure is the foundation of greatest success stories.